There have been some pretty interesting ancient cult rituals, and a lot of them are definitely considered dark and disturbing by today's standards. From showering in blood to drinking it, all the way to having your heart literally torn out of your body. That's just some of what I'll be covering on today's list. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have cannibalism. While there has been proof of cannibalism for as long as humans have existed, some research suggests that some of it may have been tied to ancient cult rituals. The analysis of a 15,000-year-old forearm showed that cannibalism may have been a part of a funeral tradition. The bone was found in the Guff Cave in England, and it showed unusual patterns engraved in it. Researchers aren't exactly sure what these practices would have entailed entirely, but it is said to have been a respectful practice in this scenario. In our number 9 spot today, we have hallucinogens. Hallucinogens have been a popular part of rituals for quite some time. They've been used for thousands of years to gain spiritual insight or even to communicate with deities. There have been cave drawings found in Africa, Asia, and South America that depict hallucinogenic mushrooms and other similar plants. The oldest written records of the use of these types of plants comes from around 3,000 years ago. There are also historical records from ancient Athenians about a drink called kykeon, which would put people into a trance-like state and was consumed in religious ceremonies called Eleusinian mysteries. Kykeon would be made with barley, and it is said that the barley would have been infested with the parasite ergot, and that the drink would have caused effects similar to an LSD trip. In our number 8 spot today, we have animal sacrifices. Animal sacrifice is fairly well documented throughout history and has been included in many different rituals. Ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Persia would place an entire animal on the fire and burn it, or would bury the animal. Ancient Greek religions would see the sacrifice of domestic animals accompanied by hymn and prayers. There would be an entire procession prior to the sacrifice, and the meat of the animal would be prepared for eating. Scythians would usually sacrifice livestock, but the most prestigious offering would be a horse. In our number 7 spot today, we have initiation. Initiation was often part of ancient cults, and while sometimes it was as simple as some fees or contributions, sometimes it took a bit of a darker turn. Part of the initiation into the Eleusinian mysteries was bringing your own victim to sacrifice. After the sacrificial process was finished, the people hoping for initiation would take themselves and their sacrifice to the ocean to be cleaned. It was recorded in 339 BC that during this cleansing part of the ritual, one of the people was actually eaten by a shark. I guess taking a sacrificed animal into the ocean may not have been the best decision in retrospect, but it was necessary to purify them before entry into the cult. In our number 6 spot today, we have blood showers. There's not much known about the cult of Mithras, as it was extremely secretive. Most of what we know is from the underground temple cave drawings in the Mithraeum cave. The drawings depict Mithras, who was known as the protector of the empire, killing a bull and meeting the sun. While their secrets and their practices are fairly unknown, one thing that is known is this kind of disgusting practice that they had. They would sacrifice a bull, but then they would bathe in its blood, which is honestly something straight out of a horror movie. This is also recorded in the cult of Kiveli. There was an initiation ritual where they would slaughter a bull and then shower in its blood. In our number 5 spot today, we have the piercing of ears and the cutting of the tongue. This was a popular ritual in ancient Mayan religion. The ear and the tongue blood were the most sacred of all the blood. The ear piercing was done so that they could be opened to be able to hear God's revelations. By cutting their tongues, they then would be able to speak what they had heard. This ritual was conducted so that the words of the gods could continue to be passed down and communicated between the people. The ear piercing might not have been that bad, but the tongue cutting just seems super painful. In our number 4 spot today, we have drinking blood mixed with wine. Wine has always played a huge role in Dionysus mysteries. People were interested in understanding the life cycle of the grapevine because it was believed to embody the living God. People believed that the intoxication from the wine was due to the possession of God's spirit. It is said that one of their rituals was to mix the blood of a sacrifice with their wine before drinking. I honestly couldn't find out why they did this, but it's just so gross and I had to include it. In our number 3 spot today, we have emasculation. This isn't isn't necessarily the best word for it, but there are some words that we just cannot use on this channel. The cult of Kiveli was eventually joined by the cult of Addis, with the story saying that Addis was a mortal who rejected Kiveli and her romantic feelings for him. This led Kiveli to punish him with a madness that caused him to cut off his own you-know-what, which led to his death. Kiveli then felt bad and pleaded to Zeus, who then resurrected Addis. This is where the ritual was born. During this era, all of the priests of Kiveli would publicly emasculate themselves in order to try and be reborn one day. In our number 2 spot today, we have dismemberment. The Dionysus Mysteries had a ritual of dismemberment, which is certainly one of the more disturbing things on this list. The reason for this ritual leads back to the story of Dionysus and how he was resurrected by his father, Zeus, after he was torn apart by Titans. The ritual is done with the person being dismembered representing Dionysus himself. This gruesome sacrifice is done with the hope that Dionysus would be reborn. I suppose this one kind of makes sense in a roundabout way, but it just seems really scary to me, I'm not gonna lie. In our number 1 spot today, we have the heart being torn out. The ancient Mayan religion was one that practiced human sacrifice, and while I'm not sure that there's any sacrifice that isn't gruesome, this one is pretty bad. The ritual would have the human who is being sacrificed tied up by the arms and the legs in front of a priest. The priest would then cut their chest open, which is just bad enough already, but then he would reach inside and tear their heart out. This sacrifice was done in order to satisfy the gods, and because it was believed that it would guarantee order in the world. Pretty crazy. Guys, that is the end of our list. I'm going to be doing a comment shout out now from my video, Top 10 Mysterious Bottomless Pits from Around the World. Ryan Kelly says, does my stomach count as a bottomless pit? Yes, Ryan, I was thinking the same thing. I strongly relate to that one. Lost Plays YT said she legit roasted her ex as her intro. I really did. I'm glad you guys appreciated it. That's all I have to say. That was fun. Just had to sneak that one in there, you know? Zachariah Ali said, love this channel. Thank you, Zachariah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving this channel, and thank you for supporting us. It really means a lot to me. Call of Duty fan said, you think Stanley Yelnats dug that hole? I do think Stanley Yelnats dug that hole. I do. Rachel Biggs says, why does it look like she's about to cry or just cried before this video? You guys, I get this comment a lot. I'm not crying. I never have cried. Well, I've definitely cried before, but never before filming one of these or during. I appreciate you looking out for me and my happiness, but I swear I'm really okay. They treat me really well at Top 10. I can't complain. Thank you for looking out for me though. That's all the comments we are shouting out for today's video. You guys, thank you for being here. I've been your host, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time.